Alright, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is King of Cards Tarot Readings. I'm so glad you could make it. So, for today's reading, you know, I'm always looking for the good in the readings, but I try not to sugarcoat it or ignore difficulties. I think it's part of why we want to get more insight. I think we rarely go to tarot when things are good. I mean, things are always good, again, like I'm saying. But we go to tarot when we feel like we don't understand something. So, it's an interesting balance going on in today's reading. For our main issue, we have Two of Swords, which we call Peace in the Crowley deck. Peace is an interesting card. So, swords represent air energy, which refers to thought quite often. So, the two is basically the first division of the element. So, when air is divided, we have an imbalance or a pressure gradient. Sorry, everybody. There's a differential. There's a high pressure and there's a low pressure. And it's being caused by something. Something is letting in, something is letting out. And in the middle, you have a tip, a balance. Or if you have two letting in, then you have a resistance, a pushing against each other, a fighting to occupy the space. And if you have two letting out, then you have like a fighting to take what is in and take it out. So it's like a fighting over object or mass or material. Either way, there's a struggle happening that this card is balanced between. So the thing about peace is it doesn't show you the struggle that's going on. And that's why it's a little bit misleading. Peace represents the tipping point, the place where balance is not achieved, but necessarily imposed or enforced. So, when I look at this card, especially when I look at this card as the main issue, I'm asking myself, what's the conflict that is being balanced here? What's the imbalance that is not being shown, is being painted over? So, what I'm getting from this as the main issue is don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by the balance you see. Don't be fooled by what appears to be all good. There's a major there's a major struggle happening behind the curtain, outside the room. And while you may not be able to find out all the information as to what's happening uh, on on the outside of your awareness, just know you're in an enviable spot. Someone's fighting over what you have. So if you have space, there's one or more parties that want that space. If you have stuff, there are groups or individuals who would like to procure that. Be aware. Be aware that what you have is in high demand. Yeah. Yeah, what you have is in high demand. And if you're lucky, you are in high demand. Now, what's unfortunate is that information is being kept from you. Because these parties are in conflict with each other. They know. They know what they want. And they know at least that they're not the only ones that want it. They know someone else's are after what they're after. Or they would have it if there was no one else looking for it. I'm gonna assume that you're not being approached directly for this, for what you have. That's not what I'm getting. But it does appear to me that you're not going to be bothered by the struggle. So, whatever the outcome of it is, you're going to be all good. So, let's see here. On the right hand side, for our future, our assistive energy, we have Seven of Cups, called debauch. Debauch has to do with instability in a system. Something is more active than it should be, and because of that, it's not able to meet its own demands. Now, this isn't something that necessarily leads to breakdown, total breakdown. It can, but it's really a sign to slow things down and focus on harmony, healing, and like maximizing use. So in this system, if there's something that causes a little bit of waste, suddenly now you're looking for extra places to put all the waste that's accumulating, because that little bit is getting repeated to the point of a huge amount. Yeah, that's interesting. But this is actually in your favor, I'm getting. So, on one side of the struggle, you have your own blind spots. Whatever your repetition is giving off. Yeah, that is a major benefit to someone and probably to you as well. Again, cups are water, which is emotion. So, whatever this is coming from like you meeting an emotional need. I'm getting at something food or consumption related. So, it could be like, in my case, it's like my car has all these bottles in it I need to get rid of. I need to throw them out, recycle them, but get them out of the car. You know, I'm getting like food wrappers. So, I don't know what that is for you. My beautiful collective, remember, I gotta say that stuff. Okay, so that's our right future assistive. So basically, whatever it is you're doing in your piece, it's creating a situation of excess. There's something that's happening that is maybe it's just like $5 here, $10 there that you're spending to meet this material, emotional need, satisfaction, consumption. You're lining someone's pockets with your repeated action. But again, it's not about the action, it's really about the emotion that you're fulfilling here. Okay, and then on the other side, our left opposal, our antithetical force, which is also our past tense influence, we have the Knight of Cups. Now, the Knight of Cups is the fiery part of water. So, this is going to be the action of emotion. So, it's like, this is like whatever you're feeling, whatever you've been feeling, it comes out in a way that whatever this repetitive action is that you're doing to meet your needs, this is something that's more immediate. So this could be, I'm getting like tears, laughter, um, could even be like angry looks. Like if there is something that bothered you and you're the kind of person who emotes that being bothered, like for me, I give people the finger on the road. Like someone comes zooming past me on the left or worse on the right, I give them the finger. I'm not going to change how I'm driving, but like I'm not going to just be bothered and not give the finger. And that's the kind of energy that's coming from this Knight of Knight of Cups. There's something righteous about it. It's justified. It's like, yeah, who are you? But this is it's contributing to this peace, this balance, this stagnance. It could be someone in your life who is this way. So I'm starting to build that either there's a person who is this way, and most likely, I'm gonna say that this person really is someone you interact with because their active emotions sort of keep you from bringing forward your own versions of that. Because, like, if they're acting and responding, reacting so quickly to their environment, you don't really have to, or you don't get a chance to. So, you might be engaging in an activity when you're with them, or they may have introduced you to an activity that you then carry forward in your pursuit of peace. So, this could be like drinking or smoking weed or another drug activity that maybe a person brings to you. This is interesting. Yeah, because since I'm speaking to the collective, some of you, this is a person that brings these things out of you. Some of you, this is just going to be a part of yourself. So, the past, the antithetical influence is this quick action based on emotion, and it's an action of emotion. Emotion is the action, right? It's the middle finger, it's the laughter, it's the anger or the tears. It's an action, but it's an emotion first that like springs to action. Yeah, okay, so hope this is sending you in a good direction, everybody. You're mostly at peace, in balance. It's like you're bored with the balance. That's really the problem I'm seeing is your boredom. If you weren't bored by the balance, you'd have so much freedom in that. But your boredom either sends you to seek out this person for some of you, or for others of you, it sends you into situations where you become this person. And because of that, for all of you, you're engaged in this behavior, this soothing behavior that, occasionally and intentionally isn't a problem at all. But the repetition of it and letting it become the substrate of your peace is where the problem is. Yeah. So, I would say you need to cut this person out if it's another person, or at least heavily reduce the regularity of their involvement in your life. If there's someone who's always like hitting you up first thing in their day and then you go be with them, put some distance between you. It's interesting. This reading is not going where I thought it would, but I do like what's coming forward, and I think I'm getting at some stuff here that's different than what I was gonna bring forward when I first looked at the cards. I'll try and bring a snapshot of that forward just so you can see what I was feeling. But before that, let me condense that. So you don't see the struggle. So maybe like this person they're like friends with the dealer, or they're like an alcohol rep, and they take you to the bar, or they like pick you up and go to the dealer's place, and then like maybe they get you a deal, you know? Like maybe they get you some free shots, or like you go tasting wine, but then because of that, you're like purchasing bottles of a nice whiskey, or you're getting like a special lot 6 case of a small batch wine that you're then taking home with you. So then you're now engaged in the use of this stuff away from this person, but because of this person. And not only that, but you're spending money, you're giving money to someone who's a friend of theirs, and they're essentially treating you in order to get you to spend. Something like that's happening. I'm seeing. Or like they're taking you to the drug dealer and then you're buying drugs. And really, they're just like, they're getting you to spend money on something that you enjoy, but that you wouldn't spend money on by yourself. But then because you've spent the money, you're indulging in this thing more than you ever would have. So you've like developed a habit because this person gets you deals. Something like that's happening. Okay. And then to cap all this, we have the Five of Cups, which is called disappointment. And now disappointment is on the opposite side of the six from debauch. Debauch is a little bit more than balanced, and disappointment is a little bit less. So disappointment is like if the homie hits you up and is like, "Hey, you want to go to the wine bar today? My friend, the rep, is coming, and they're bringing like this sick batch of Cabernets or whatever. I don't know. I don't know that stuff." And you're like, "Oh, actually, like, I bought. I don't even know what wine costs. I bought that $200 bottle last week, and it's good, but I think I need to like slow down my spending a little bit." Like, first of all, they're disappointed because their pitch failed. Secondarily, they now have to like tell their friend, the rep, that you aren't gonna spend, and then so they're disappointed. They're a disappointment, and then their friend, the rep, is disappointed. And you, in your piece, are like, you've now become this part of this system. Yeah, you've become a customer. Um, yeah, interesting. You gotta pull back. You gotta let them be disappointed. It's not bad. Don't regret these decisions, and know that this stuff is there if you want it. But you should try to do it at your own pace rather than being advertised to. I mean, if you want, it's whatever. This is cool. So we'll come back to this. What was read the way I was gonna read this before? Basically, before what I was seeing was Basically, it was like you were seeking. Huh, I'm losing it. Dang it. Sorry, everybody. Sorry for down space. Um, you're seeking like a balanced thought. I think this dovetails. You were seeking a balance of thoughts because you want to move forward on something, but you were of two minds about it, whether to go one way or another way. And because of that, you were stuck in indecision. And on one side, you had this very forward thought that was like, just go for it, just do anything. That's better than nothing. The Knight of Cups. And on the other side was this like partially built out thing that was like not reaching a finish line. And you were like, fuck, I want to reach this place of like stable design and like working order. And so then what I was seeing in this disappointment card was kind of like, let yourself be disappointed with the outcome. Whether you're just doing it to try it or you're building something out but it's not quite working, that's fine. Your disappointment is no big deal. It's okay if you don't reach success. That's good. Like, make mistakes, try things, and let them end where they end. They don't all have to reach completion. So, I do think that that's more representative of you and where you are orienting to the piece that you reside in. You're kind of, again, that's where the boredom and the frustration's coming in. You're in this thing trying to do what you're doing, feeling the drive to act, but also reflecting on past action and its inability to produce an effect, a total effect, and you're feeling like you've lost time and energy. But the place you've really lost time and energy is in being a customer in this other person's um, like advertisement scheme. So yeah, I think engage in those things that comfort you in the place where you need the comfort. It's fine. And it sounds like you've got like a bottle of good whiskey, a couple of bottles of good wine, and maybe some good weed too. And some of you might have some more intense drugs going on, in which case be careful. But like, if it's just the alcohol and the weed, you've got it. Don't jump into it right away, but know that you can lather it on in your place of boredom. But let yourself get bored if you can. Find that place where it gets quiet. Ignore the phone when it rings. Don't call somebody who isn't already calling you. Like, sit in your own space, sit in your own quiet. And yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So, when you feel that strong emotion rise up and say act, if it's an act for building within that piece, do it. But if it's an act that calls you out and away from the piece, don't do it. And if you're in a place where what you're building isn't finalizing, don't try to push it further past its ability. Like, start over, start something else, bring it forward, and let it hit that debauch state and release it again, and start over and let it hit that debauch and then release it and then start over. Like, let disappointment be your guide from this place of peace, of silence and boredom. Like, you're good. You got this. I believe in you, for one. Yeah, so I think that's pretty well rounded. I'm grateful for you, for the collective. Yeah, as always, thank you for coming by. King of Cards Tarot. Tell somebody. Go watch an older video. You know, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And, you know, I'd love it if when I release a new video, which I'm trying to do one every day for a little while, just these general collectives. And as those of you who have watched the induction video know, I'm going to be doing some more stuff, not just these general collectives, but I'm trying to do one general collective message a day so that you got some material to jump around from. Like I've said, this stuff is rewatchable. You don't have to watch it on day of, but I would appreciate it if when a new message is released, you get the notification and you're like, oh, sweet, let me watch that new while it's fresh. That'd be hot for me. So I know I already said it once, but I'm going to say it again within the scope of this one video. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you all soon.